Hi there and welcome to Yum Paleo. Today I'm going to be making a spaghetti bolognese but a paleo version. So I've got some beef mince here and I'm going to be using some eggplant which I've taken the skin off and cut them into cubes. But also it's called an aubergine if you're wondering what an eggplant is. And then I've got about 6 small zucchinis, or courgettes as they're called as well. And I've used a julienne peeler to cut them up into thin strips as you can see. And I'm going to be putting that into a wok and just cooking it through with oil and salt and pepper just for a bit. And I had some leftovers from the courgettes, so I've peeled them and I'm going to put them into the mix with the mince. Now the sauce for the mince, here's some like tomato sauce with basil and other herbs, and then I've just cut up some tomatoes that I had left over to go into the sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the fry pan. I'm going to let this heat up for a bit. And then we're going to add some olive oil into it. Now the eggplant, it needs quite a lot of olive oil because it's like a sponge and it soaks it up. So we're going to put in quite a bit, so don't be alarmed if it looks like quite a lot. And you can keep adding more, just keep an eye on it, and if the eggplant's soaking it up, then just keep adding bits to it. So just let this pan heat up. And before this dish, I was actually going to put the mince inside the zucchini, so I was going to cut the zucchini in half, take out the insides, and then put the mince in and put it in the oven, but because the zucchinis were so small, I wasn't able to do that. So if you do have large zucchinis or like marrow or something, you can take out the insides of them and fill it with the fillings like the mince, and then just put it in the oven, and that's a different alternative to a meal. So maybe on the next recipe I'll try that one out. But, right, I think this is getting hot enough, so I'm just going to chuck in the eggplant. Yep, already the eggplant is like completely soaked up any oil that I put in, so just gonna have to make sure you keep topping it up. Now you can use coconut oil as well, but I just think for this meal, olive oil will taste a lot better. Yeah, it's quite amazing how quickly the oil just soaks up into them. Okay, so I think I've got enough oil in there, and you can tell if there's enough oil because they go like a translucent. You can tell they're kind of translucenty, and they stop soaking up the oil as well. So what we want to get is a nice browning to the eggplant. So I'm just going to give it a bit longer, and then once you're happy, I'm just going to take it out, and then I'm going to put the mince in, and once the mince is brown, I'm going to put it back in, along with I'm going to brown off some of the courgettes as well. But also, an important thing is to add some salt. So put some salt in there, I'm going to put a bit of pepper as well. So yeah, they won't need too much longer. They smell really good though. And yeah, there's still a bit of oil in the pan, so it shows that they've soaked up as much as they can. And they're changing colour, so that's a good sign. The flavours are going to be coming out. Yeah, so just give it a little bit longer, keep an eye on them. Once you're happy with the look and they've got a nice brown coloration on them all the way around, then you'll be ready to take them out. Like I said, we'll be putting it back in the mix when we've done the mince. Okay, so the eggplant looks like it's about ready, so I'm just going to turn it down. And I'm going to take these out into another bowl and then put the mince in. Right, so we've got that eggplant into another bowl now, and it's ready to add the mince now. Just put that in, I'll break it up once it's in the pan. Right, so once you get the mince browned and it's all cooked through, then we can start putting the other things in, like the eggplant, and I've got some bits of the courgette that I had left over from when I made the noodles out of them, so we'll put them in as well. Because there's no point having any wastage because it can all go in. Let's turn this up a bit. Now I've still got some oil left over from the eggplant, so I'm just using that. But if you feel it needs a bit more, then just add some more into it. Right, the beef is starting to brown now, so I'm just going to add some salt and pepper and a little bit of oregano. Now you can put any kind of herbs you want in, as you like. It's totally up to you. I'm just going to keep it quite simple though for this dish. Quite a nice serving of oregano there. And I might even add the bits of courgette that I cut up before, just to get them started. And there's also bits of garlic in there, which I cut up, but that's just personal preference. Right, the mince is really starting to brown now, so once you're happy with it, you can chuck back in the eggplant, and then you can start to add the sauces if you like. So either if you've got some tomatoes or just a tomato sauce, you can put that in. I'm just going to give mine a little bit longer, so just make sure it's browned through. Once you're happy with it, just chuck it all in. I'm going to add the eggplant in now. And I think I'm ready to put in the sauce as well. So it's all looking nice, all the mince is browned off. Just going to turn it down a little bit. I find when you put the sauce in, just keep it down at a low heat so nothing burns and it just has a slow simmer point. Okay, so I'm just going to chuck in some of the tomatoes and the tomato sauce. Now just leave this for a while, because it will take a bit of time to soak in all the flavours. So once this is done, we'll get on to the zucchini noodles. Okay, so once you've got all that ready and just leave it to simmer, I'm just going to get the pan on ready for the noodles. So yep, just heat up the pan, give it a nice little bit of olive oil or coconut oil, it's up to you. I'm going to put another healthy serving of that because the zucchini really does soak it up quite quickly. So I'll just leave that to heat for a minute, and once it's hot enough, just chuck these in, and it's pretty simple. You just put them in, put a bit of salt and pepper, just toss them around a bit, and once they've soaked up and they've gone kind of nice and soft, then they'll be ready to come out. So these will take about 5 to 10 minutes, and once that's done, I'll meet you back and we'll get ready to serve. Okay. Okay, so welcome back, and I've just finished the zucchini spaghetti, and I think because I cut them up quite finely, they go quite mushy because they're quite a high water content, so I'd probably do quite thick cuts of them, but it's still fine. They're still perfectly edible, and they do shrink down quite a bit, so just another note to take. But yeah, I'll just plate up a bit of this. And a bit of so this is eggplant, beef mince, Bolognese. And yeah, there's quite a bit more mince than there is noodles, but I suppose you could just buy a few more noodles, courgettes, and make them into noodles, and then you'll be fine. So there we have it, a eggplant beef mince with zucchini noodles. Hope you enjoy it, guys, and I'll see you for the next recipe.